Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, Out of Voice Radio. So today, I am bringing you my buy list for the new Pokemon trading card game expansion, Guardians Rising. These are basically the cards that I think you should have in your binder, because you might need them to make decks in the future, and they are likely to go up in price if they get good. Buy them now, so that you don't have to pay lots later. Now, as always, if you really don't like a card, don't feel the need to buy it. If there are cards you really like that aren't on the list, obviously go and get them. This is my advice for cards that I think might be useful in the future. Maybe they will be, maybe they won't, but they're cards that I'm going to have just in case. Now, there are some cards, think Victory Bell, Wailord, Gliscopod, that may or may not be good, but they're unlikely to go up in price unless they get played a lot, so they're the kind of cards that you only buy if you really need them. Right now. So on to the Pokemon. We're going to go in set order. You need 4 Phantump and 4 Trevenant. You need the Phantump so you can use Forest of Giant Plants. You need the Trevenant because this could be a really good deck with Vileplume because of his Poltergeist attack. You need 2 Victini because of his ability allowing you to reflip coins for attacks. It's not great now, but all it needs is one good card to be released with a flippy attack, and then everybody wants Victini, the price shoots up. I don't think you'll ever need more than 2 of these though. I personally would get 4 of the Fire Oricorio, stick them in a binder. They're not going to cost you much now, but fire decks in the future, especially when Baby Volcanion, hey Nick, gets rotated out, you might need a starter, and Fire Oricorio could be a really, really good starter in fire decks in the future. You need 4 Garbodor because this is going to be one of the best decks in the format. Even cards like Garbodor that aren't these big holo rare and ultra rares, if they get played enough, they become quite expensive. Get 4 of these as soon as you can. And although I'm not sitting here analysing these cards fully, I'm just trying to give you a buy list. Do remember that I've done videos to all of these, and I'll put links in the description if you want to learn more about any of these cards. You need 2 of the Vital Dance Oricorio. It allows you to search for 2 energy cards when you pop it on your bench. Doesn't see a huge amount of play now, but in a format going forward with Garbodor where we're all trying to play the game using fewer items, searching out energy using a Pokemon could be something good. I could see this going up in price. 2 of the Supernatural Dance Oricorio. This has got the really good attack for 1 colourless energy that allows you to pop 1 damage counter down for every Pokemon in your opponent's discard pile. I think this could be a really good tech in a whole bunch of decks. It's amazing against things like Vespiquen, but honestly, it's just a good attacker in its own right. It could be a good tech. I think you need 2 of them. You need 1 or 2 Mimikyus. These got the copycat attack. Now, in standard, we don't have Dimension Valley to use it for 1 energy, but we do in expanded, and either way, this is a card that could be used as a really good tech to take advantage of any attack your opponents just use. For that reason, I think you need a couple in your binder. 4 Dhelmise. Quite simply, this allows your metal Pokemon to do 10 extra damage. Even if you don't want to play it now, if a good metal Pokemon is released in future that we do want to play, Dhelmise is going to be, and guaranteed going to be, an integral part of that deck, because you can do up to 40 extra damage. It's a holo, get it now before it goes up in price. 2 Machoke. Now, Machoke's not getting a whole lot of buzz at the moment. He might never get a whole lot of buzz. But he's got a really good ability that blocks damage and damage counters from attacks and abilities. It could be really useful in the future. Could be a good Decidueye tech now, but it could be good against so much in the future. 2 Sudowoodo, you get to limit your opponent's bench. That could be really good. All of these tech cards like Machoke and Sudowoodo, I don't think you need a playset of them, but you certainly need a couple, because generally if you play 1, it could end up in your prizes. You might want to get yourself 4 Honchkrow. I just get the feeling that Honchkrow could become really good in the future due to the low attack cost and potentially high damage output. But I know that these did come in the pre-release pack, so they might not be that difficult to get hold of. I'll leave that one up to you. 2 Comfey because you get to block special conditions. If you're playing Fairy Energy or Rainbow or Double Dragon, and you're worried about special conditions, this is the card that fixes that worry. So I think you need a couple in your binder. 2 Drampa because he's a really good non-GX attacker who can be your 7th prize in a whole bunch of games. Your opponent KOs it and they've still got to KO 3 EXs or GXs in order to win the game. Have a couple in your binder, you never know. Now, Blissey, I'm a big fan of in Expanded. I think you should pop 2 of them in your deck. I love the ability to heal, and I love the high damage, but I don't love the damaging yourself, which is why I like it in Expanded with Protection Cube. Either way, this is one of those cards that looks like it might be good in the future. Speaking of which, Rayquaza. Double colourless energy, allowing you to accelerate any kind of energy onto any of your Pokemon while doing 170 in 2 hits with Choice Band. I mean, it sounds pretty good to me. Now, a lot of these Pokemon might not be good now. The reason they're on the buy list is simple. Some of them, Trevenant and Garbodor, are going to be good attackers, and you need to have them now before everyone starts playing it and the price goes up. The rest of them are mostly techs, and techs tend to come in and out of fashion with the release of new cards, and we've seen it so many times where a card comes out, and then this tech Pokemon gets really expensive because everybody wants it. Get ahead of the curve, ladies and gentlemen. That's me advice. In terms of trainers, I am usually a fan of getting 4 of these because you might want a playset. Aether Paradise Conservation Area, really good in grass and lightning decks, so get yourself 4 of them so you can take less damage. Altar of the Moon removes your retreat cost if you're playing Psychic or Dark decks, and of course Yveltal may well be getting good in the near future, so I'd recommend having 4 of them lying around as well. Altar of the Sun I'm leaving up to you. Cards like this haven't seen a huge amount of play in the past, but if you really want it, feel free to go and get yourself some. Aqua Patch is going to be amazing in water decks, get yourself 4 of them. Brooklet Hill is going to be amazing in water decks and maybe fighting decks, get yourself 4 of them. Choice Band is one of the best cards we have at the moment and that we're getting. 30 extra damage to EXs and GXs is too good to pass up. You need 4 of these, and the price of this is going to go up, just like it did with cards like Fighting Fury Bout, Max Elixir and Pokemon Catcher. Energy Lotto is the kind of card that might see no play, no play, no play, no play, no play, and then you're playing a deck which really relies on special energy, and it is the best way to search for special energy. Get 4 of them in your binder. Field Blower is utterly amazing, and you should have 2 of them. It's the only good way we've got to get rid of Pokemon tools at the moment. Now, you'll rarely be playing more than 2 in a deck, so you can get away with 2 of them, but I'd recommend having a playset, 'cause if nothing else, they'll be good trade bait. Hala, it's a decent supporter. It's one of these shuffle draw supporters, but you get more cards after shuffling your hand into your deck if you've already used your GX attack. So you know what? Maybe you play a deck which has the aim of using a GX attack early, get 4 of these. Mallow is a much more specialised supporter card in that you search for 2 cards, put it on top of your deck. Maybe it'll be good, maybe it won't, but it seems like the kind of card where you need 2 copies and you're likely to reuse it with Versus Seeker. Multi-switch in the same way as Energy Lotto. It allows you to move your energy around, but really it allows you to move special energy around. Have 4 in your binder just in case. And Rescue Stretcher, if you don't want to have your basic energy recovered, it's better than Super Rod. It is instantly better than Buddy Buddy Rescue. It's really good in decks like Gyarados. You need 4 of these. Now don't worry, at the end of the video I will pop a whole list of this up so you don't have to go back and write them all down. Now in terms of GXs, these tend to be quite expensive, so I don't want to recommend you go and buy a huge amount of them at the beginning, so here's what I'll tell you. Lycanroc GX has got an amazing ability, and it could become really popular in the future. I think you need to go and get 2 of these, because this could become really expensive. Tapu Lele is amazing, and you just need minimum 2 of these. Tapu Lele is not going down in price. It will be an expensive card. You're not going to go and get a cheap version. but it's only going to get more expensive as this set gets older and more out of date. So honestly, I would recommend biting a bullet and just going and buying a couple. Tapu Koko's coming out in a tin later on, so you don't need to worry. And the only other free GXs I'd recommend really taking a good look at are Alola Ninetales, Drampa, and Sylveon. I'm not saying they will be good, but I'm saying they have the best chance to be good, so you might want to jump in ahead to get them before they become popular. The thing is, you can buy a card, something like a Victini before it gets popular will cost you $1 to $2, whereas something like a GX before it gets really playable could be $5 to $10 anyway, which is quite an investment if you never end up playing it, so I leave that up to you. Here's my buy list in full, not including any of the optional ones. Up to you, ladies and gentlemen, but I get asked for this quite a lot. My Sun and Moon buy list proved popular, so here is my Guardians Rising buy list. As always, we have a comment section, so go nuts, be nice, and tell me if there's any cards you would pop on the list. Make sure you like this video, make sure you're subscribed to this channel, and make sure you'll follow me on Twitter @TheWassy. The most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.